The NASCAR Heat 5 trailer just dropped not too long ago, and man, is there a lot of negativity towards it. The game looking like just a copy and paste of what we got a year ago. It's sending a lot of mixed signals throughout the fan base, even including me. So I thought, what a better time than the present than to bring back an old series and is it worth it, and review every single one of the NASCAR Heat games so far. I'll be ranking every game on a count of 1 to 10. Let's get straight into it.
Also, just in case any of you were curious, yes, I do own every single one of these games. Yeah, I'm not just going off a video here. I've played all four of these games for this video. Yeah. Now, NASCAR Heat Evolution, which we're talking about here. Oh, this is definitely a divisive one. A lot of people say this is the worst NASCAR game ever made, and I tend to agree with them in a lot of ways. Of course, for the beginning part, we analyzed the trailer that came out, and NASCAR Heat Evolution sure did have an interesting trailer, considering the fact the drivers are holding Xbox 360 controllers and not Xbox One controllers. But nonetheless, the game was, of course, at its prototype stage, and everybody thought, it's fine, it'll look better when we actually get to actually racing. Of course, it's very obvious this was made by a brand new development team, judging by the way that it's obvious that these drivers are not actually playing the game in the trailer. It's very obvious of that. The way that they've lapsed things, it's very obvious. But let's go on to the game itself. Now, of course, when we get to the game itself, you start to realize some major issues with this game. Single player is awful. The AI doesn't function correctly, and at Daytona and Talladega, pack drafting is basically nothing. There's no draft here. There's no arrow. You can basically put the car wherever you want, and it's going to stick. It's very simple to do. And it's just kind of not fun to play the single player of this game unless you're just wrecking people all the time, as you see in these clips. But also, we're going to discuss the career mode in this. It did have a career mode, and I thought it was pretty okay when first playing through. But once you upgrade your car fully, there's no challenge there. Like, seriously, there's no challenge. Like, just straight up. Once you have your car, you can get, like, a 10-win season. And I really would like, even on the hardest difficulty, I can get a 10-win season. And I want a bit of competition in my NASCAR game. Now, of course, if we do go into multiplayer, yes, there is online multiplayer, but this game did not have two-player split screen. And that was a big no-no for a lot of people. A lot of people expected that. It was in the previous games. They didn't have it here. I will say, though, if we were talking about just the single-player mode of this game, I would absolutely give this a 2 out of 10. But the online mode in this saves it. Playing this with a few friends online, it's only fun because there's nothing inherently good about the online in Heat Evolution. It's just fun to laugh at this game with a couple friends. I'm kind of surprised there's nobody playing online in this game anymore, just kind of laugh at it at this point. So, my final verdict for NASCAR Heat Evolution is a 3 out of 10. A awful single-player and control scheme with an okay career mode that gets way too easy, way too fast, and an amazing online mode that's only amazing just because of how it plays. Let's jump shift to NASCAR Heat 2. Now, NASCAR Heat 2. This one is another one that I really don't like all that much, but we'll get to that when we get to gameplay. This trailer honestly looks amazing. It really enforces, hey, we made something new here. It's better than what we made before. Showing off new split screen, showing everything, showing the new graphics mod. This game had a very good damage model. It took a lot to make it look good, but they had a good one in this one, and I give them massive props. Let's get to gameplay. Ah, yes, NASCAR Heat 2. Probably my least favorite in the NASCAR Heat Series, if I'm 100% honest with you. This game has the exact same issue that NASCAR Heat Evolution had. You can put the car where you want it, when you want it, and it's just going to do it. There is no fight in these cars at all. Except this time, there's no online multiplayer to redeem this game a little bit. In fact, the online multiplayer is so insufferable you can barely play it. The grass feels like ice. Like, you cannot play this game. Career mode, I give them props. They did better, and I'm happy they built upon it there. But that's one of the only redeeming qualities. And I'm PS4 and PC, it runs at 30 FPS compared to the 60 FPS on an Xbox One. This has no reason to be on a next-gen system. So with that, my final verdict for this game is a 4 out of 10. It is barely better than Heat Evolution. Let's go into a game that's less terrible, NASCAR Heat 3. Now, it seems like with NASCAR Heat 3, a lot like Heat 2, 704 really nailed the trailer. It really makes you excited for this game. It makes you feel like this is a big game. Makes you feel like this is a AAA title, which it really isn't considering it's a smaller development team. But NASCAR Heat 3 is definitely a pretty good stepping stone between Heat 2 and Heat 4. This was the introduction of the Extreme Dirt Tour, which I definitely could do without, but that's just my personal opinion. They added the new Team Builder mode. Still didn't have any sort of number creation, but that. Now, NASCAR Heat 3 is a pretty interesting one, all things considered. They had this awesome Exalta pre-race update showing you how cars had that day. That's what was in English, what I just said. And, like, cars that failed inspection. It was actually pretty cool and things. And cars that crashed in qualifying. It was pretty cool, all things considered. Another graphical update. Love that ready to go green sign, by the way. We'll always love that. We finally had a camera that moved around, just like in NASCAR 15. Had an even better paint booth, I'd say. Still couldn't choose your own number. That would come a year later. Career mode was NASCAR Heat 2's, except a whole lot better. We had the Extreme Dirt Tour added, which I definitely could have done without. We also had the Creative Team, which I had so much fun with. I would put fantasy drivers in there. I know a few other YouTubers did that too, back when this game was popular. And it was a pretty fun time. Career mode was pretty good. Multiplayer was not awful, which means it's better than Heat 2's. So, my overall ranking for this game is a 5 out of 10. Right in the middle. I'd say if you hate this game, you have good reasons to. There are a few glaring issues with this game. However, if you like this game, it has a lot of positives to it as well. The cars feel normal, and this game actually runs at 60 frames per second on everything, which is always really nice. But with that, we'll jump to the most recent game in the NASCAR Heat Series, NASCAR Heat 4. NASCAR Heat 4 had one of the most in-depth trailers, so I think I can actually fit everything into the length of the trailer, which is pretty surprising, all things considered. Main reason for that is that they actually had things to show. Overall presentation, same as Heat 3, but a little bit more in-depth. Visually, this game looks stunning compared to anything else we'd seen before this. Again, this is a pretty small company, I do get that, but of course over the years they have gotten a bit better. Still saying, though, that they still haven't made the best NASCAR games for sure. Of course, we had Tony Stewart, some dirt car. Had all 4 series return in this game. A career mode that I actually want to play multiple years of, which is more I could say for any of the other games. I honestly really like this game. Online multiplayer is also fun. Of course, this is the year they had the Gold Edition with Jeff Gordon. I, of course, did end up getting the Gold Edition because Jeff Gordon. But, anyway. Still had the split-screen multiplayer. The car really is... You can 100% adjust anything about the AI. We have custom numbers. And you can actually see people walking around the track in the pre-race thing. And sometimes you can see actually what looks like humans in the crowd, which is kind of cool. Especially if you slow things down. We finally do have a track map here to have the 360 camera, and all that crashing is awesome. I give this game a 7 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed this game. I'm not looking forward to NASCAR Heat 5 because I know it'll be a copy and paste. But a 7 out of 10, the best ranking I've gotten. These games have only gone up in ranking. And that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will see you all next time I record something. Bye-bye!